In this video, I'm going to show you how to create follow through or overlapping in animation. Okay, I'm going to use this read for this lesson. What we need to bend the body of this read, we need joint. Double click on joint, and since the body of this read is very thin, I think we need to adjust the radius, bone and radius. So we can go 0.09. Okay, this is thin enough. Okay, let me go ahead and draw joint. Before drawing a joint, you rather check on the X-ray so that you can see those joint while drawing. Okay, keep drawing. There are many joints until the end. Hit spacebar and go to top view and click on the X-ray. Activate the X-ray and make sure that you have created all joint inside of this object. And then let's go to outliner, and you should see the read and as well as all joints that we have created. And the next step is, since we selected our object, which is read and all joint and the bind skin, and let's select a joint and rotate it. This one too. Okay, everything works fine. Okay, you can rotate entire of this read. If you like to change the name of the joint to something specific from joint 1, joint 2, and joint 3, you use this option. And first of all, you need to type a joint, since we have a joint 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then replace with your desirable name. Now you should see read 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 instead of joint 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So these are joint we have created so far. Okay, I selected all joint, and if you rotate this read, you will see the rest of the joint also rotate. And if you like to achieve a kind of a curvy body from this read, you need to highlight all joints. It was a pretty stiff, but right now we have nice curve on this read. Okay, let's create the initial keyframe. Hit S, and then create second keyframe. Don't forget to check on the toggle icon. Okay, this will be our third keyframe. So you see that we have 1, 2, 3 keyframes. And I'm gonna go switch playback speed to a real. Okay. Okay, now I'm gonna show you how to adjust speed and tempo of this animation by using Graph Editor. So this is Graph Editor, and you should see the bunch of keyframes. If you like to slow down on this animation, you need to provide more numbers of frames in between those keyframes. So what I like to do, I'm gonna select the keyframe, our second keyframe and third keyframe, and drag them to the right. Okay, and let's test it. Okay, you should see this animation is much slower than before because we have more frames in between the very first keyframe, the initial keyframe, and the second keyframe, and then in between the second keyframe and third keyframes, as you can see on our timeline. And then if you like to see this action repeatedly, if you like to see a repetition of this action, you could go to curves and choose actually both pre-infinity and as well as post-infinity. So now you should see repetitive waves in this Graph Editor. So if you play this animation, see, it plays over and over and over. Alright, this is okay, but we could make a better animation that looks more flexible and more natural. Okay, first of all, I'm gonna duplicate this one so that we can compare both movement. Okay, select whole and edit and duplicate spatial and check on the duplicate input graph checkbox and then duplicate. Okay, now you should see another read and another group of joints. Okay, these two are identical, as you can see. Okay, I'm gonna go to outliner and reveal all inner joints, and then select all joints. Okay, and then go to DovShit. You can find Windows and animation DovShit instead of Graph Editor. This one is similar to Graph Editor, but you can achieve the kind of flexible movement in DovShit more easily and quickly. Okay, on the left you should see all the joints. Okay, what we need to do here is basically we like to offset in each one of these joint, so that the first joint rotate and then the next joint follows a few frames after, and so on. That gives us more flexible feel to it. Okay, let's do it. To move selected joint to the right, we can provide like a 2 frame in between. You need to hold down middle mouse button. Okay, select. After highlighting all those joints, you should see yellow colors on them. Okay, keep going. Next groups of joint and drag them to the right. You need to hold down middle mouse button while doing this. Okay, I think we got something, so let's preview this. Okay, well, this is clearly different. Okay, the read on the right looks far more natural, more professional. Okay, just to keep playing with this stuff in the shit to create more interesting movement. Okay, I just mess with the desktop shit and the result is like this. Okay, here is a gymnastic ring. I already added number of joint inside of this strap. Okay, let's go ahead and animate this strap as we did earlier. Don't forget to highlight all joint first, and then add a couple keyframes. 1, 2. Okay, probably one more. Okay, 3. A total 3 keyframes. Okay, preview. And the graph editor. Okay, let's highlight all in keyframe and pre-infinity and post-infinity. So okay, we just created repetition of this animation without actually manually adding more number of keyframe, so it will play over and over and over again. And then we're gonna open DovShit from Graph Editor And we're gonna do the same thing that we did earlier. Okay, just highlight those 5 joints and move it to the right. Hold down middle mouse button. Okay. Okay. To the right to offset each one. Middle mouse button. And the preview. Okay, good. Now we need to attach the ring to the strip so that it goes with the strip. Okay. So I'm gonna place the ring there. Looks good. Okay, basically what we're doing is we gonna make this ring a child of joint 6. So select the ring and then select the very last joint, which is joint 6, and then hit P. Okay, so now this ring has become a child of ring 6. So that means the rings will obey follow joint 6 all the time.